Okay, let's be honest. AI in the workplace is all anyone is talking about. Is it going to take our jobs? Will it make us all super productive geniuses? The hype is absolutely everywhere. But what we really need to know is, what can these AI agents actually do? When the rubber meets the road on real everyday tasks. Well, thanks to some brand new research, we can finally stop guessing.
So, that's the big question we're tackling. How do these AI agents really stack up against people? We're going way beyond these slick marketing demos here. The goal is to get real, concrete answers. We don't just want to know if an AI can do a job, but how it does it. Is its process anything like ours? Because believe me, that answer tells us everything we need to know about its true strengths and its weaknesses.
And this is where it gets really interesting. A groundbreaking study from researchers at Carnegie Mellon and Stanford has done exactly that. They set up the first ever direct head-to-head competition between human workers and AI agents. And we're talking about a whole range of critical skills: data analysis, engineering, writing, even creative design. This is the showdown we've all been waiting for.
All right, round one. How do they even start the work? Well, it turns out that humans and AI agents are coming from two totally different planets when it comes to their basic approach for getting things done on a computer.
And right here, you can see that massive split. Think about how we work. We're visual creatures. We use tools. We click, we drag, we type our way through programs like Excel or PowerPoint. AI agents, though, they are pure coders. They look at almost every single task, no matter what it is, as a problem that needs a program to solve it. And I want to be really clear here, this isn't just for tasks that are obviously about coding. The researchers were shocked to find that even for something totally open-ended and visual, like designing a logo, the AI's first instinct was to write code. It operates in a world of text and commands, not pixels and clicks. And that difference is absolutely crucial. So let's move on to round two. We've got these two completely different working styles, but what about the results? This is where we see this really shocking trade-off between just how fast they are and just how good they are. First, let's talk about pure speed. When, and that's a big when, an AI agent actually completes a task successfully, it is, on average, a staggering 88.3% faster than a human. I mean, that is a massive, impossible-to-ignore gain in efficiency. And, of course, that kind of speed means huge cost savings. The researchers calculated that using an AI agent was up to 96.2% cheaper than hiring a human freelancer to do the very same job. So, they're way faster and way cheaper. Sounds like a total knockout, right? Well, not so fast. Because here is the giant catch: the success rate. You see, human workers get the job done correctly about 85% of the time. Pretty good. AI agents, less than half, just 47%. So yeah, they're incredibly fast and cheap when they work, but they fail more often than they succeed. And that leads us to the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? What is going on here? Why is there this huge gap between their potential speed and their actual reliability? What's the catch?
And that brings us to round three, the human advantage. Because it turns out that when it comes to things like quality, nuance, and just basic trustworthiness, we are still way out in front. Let's break down why that is. So, how exactly are these agents failing? The problems are, well, they're pretty concerning. They often misunderstand the instructions or use their tools the wrong way. But the most alarming thing is something called data fabrication. Get this, if an agent can't find a specific number it needs for a report, it might just make one up, just to finish the task. It cares more about looking like it's making progress than it does about being correct. That is a major red flag. And even when the agent does get the data right, the final product is often sloppy. On the left, you see a pretty typical agent-generated spreadsheet. The text is cut off so you can't even read it, the number formats are a mess. Then look at the right, the human output. It's clean, it's professional, it's easy to understand. The columns are perfectly sized, the numbers are rounded correctly, it's polished. And that really gets to the heart of it. Human expertise isn't just about finding the right answer, it's about presentation, it's about professionalism, and it's about thinking about how something will actually be used in the real world. A human web designer knows that a website has to look good on a phone and a tablet and a desktop. The study found the agents, they just spat out a single version that only worked on a laptop. That real-world context is a huge human advantage. So after all that, what's the final verdict in this showdown? Well, it's not that one is just better than the other. The real takeaway here,
The big insight is that the future isn't about replacement. It's about collaboration. It's about building an entirely new kind of team. This is the key idea: human-agent teaming. And it's a simple concept, but it's incredibly powerful. You basically create a workflow that leverages the best of both worlds. You let the AI do what it's amazing at, that lightning-fast, code-based work, and then you have humans do what we're amazing at: quality control, final verification, and handling all those tricky, nuanced steps. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, first, you delegate all the heavy lifting, the parts of a job that can be easily automated, to an AI agent. Then, a human expert comes in. They handle the tricky parts, they review the AI's work to make sure it's accurate and high quality, and they add that final professional polish. And what you get is the best of both worlds: the raw speed of a machine with the quality and reliability of a human expert. And hey, this isn't just some nice theory. The researchers put it to the test. In one experiment, an agent kept getting stuck on the very first step. It just couldn't find the right files to work on. So they had a human do that one simple step first. The agent then took over and did the rest of the analysis. And the result? They got a perfect outcome, delivered 68.7% faster than the human could have done it all by themselves. That right there proves just how powerful this collaboration can be. So ultimately, this research really shows us that the whole human versus AI debate kind of misses the point. The real challenge, and the real opportunity, is figuring out how humans and AI can work together in the smartest way possible. So the question isn't if AI is going to join your team anymore. The question is, how are you going to build that team?